Advanced query on stock prices and ratios. This query trigger is available under Stock Prices and Capital Changes section. This query trigger allows the user to query on share prices and volumes data sourced from the Bombay Stock Exchange and the National Stock Exchange. It also allows the user to query on derived indicators such as adjusted prices, EPS, PE, PB, etc. Let us understand the functioning of this query trigger with the help of an example. Suppose we want to find companies whose last 30 days returns were above 10%, and for such companies we want to find 30 days returns for the last 6 monthly intervals in either of the exchanges on which they are listed. To execute this query, you need to follow 6 steps. The first step is to go to the query trigger Stock Prices and Ratios and select the appropriate tab from the top of the user interface. The tab Query is selected by default, and let us change the same to Advanced Query. The second step is to select the indicator from the Select Expressions box. Let us select the indicator BSE Return Period Range. This indicator is available under 30-day indicator under BSE Indicators. By double-clicking on the indicator, the indicator will appear in the Enter Search Condition box. Let us complete the equation by adding greater than 10 against the indicator BSE Return Period Range. After this, enter the pipe sign, also called the vertical bar, and select another indicator NSE Return Period Range 30, available under 30-day indicator under NSE Indicators. Let us complete the entire equation by adding greater than 10. This expression implies that the search is for companies whose 30 days returns were above 10% on either of the exchanges BSE or NSE. The third step is to enter the appropriate date in the Query on Dates box on which the search should be conducted. L is the default setting. Let us change it to a relative date T, which implies the last trading date of the exchanges. Let us retain the default selections in the interval and date proximity boxes available below the Query on Dates box. In the output dates, AP is the default selection. Let us change it to a 6-month date range, 2015-07-01 to 2016-01-31. The default selections in the interval drop-down available below Output Dates box is daily. Let us change the selection to monthly. Let us retain the default selection in Date Proximity drop-down as Exact Date. The date formats used in the Query on Dates, Output Dates, Interval, and Proximity are explained in the Help on Dates, which can be accessed by clicking on the question mark icon available just above the Query on Dates box. The fourth step is to choose the appropriate domain from the 2 domains available, All Companies and Companies in Current OSE. The domain All Companies conducts a search over all the companies available in the Prowess database for which stock prices are available. The domain Companies in Current OSE conducts a filtering on the companies available in the current output sheet. The domain All Companies is selected by default, and let us retain the same. The fifth step is to select the appropriate output destination from the 4 formats available in the Select Output Destination box. The first is the OSE format, which lists the names of the companies in rows and time and indicator in columns. The second output destination is the WS, which is the worksheet, which displays indicators in rows and companies and time in columns. The third output destination is also WS, which displays time in rows and companies and indicators in columns. The fourth output destination is the TXT output, which displays the data in a text file. The domain OSE is selected by default, and let us retain the same. The sixth step is to select the appropriate Execute option to execute the selections made in this query trigger. For the selected domain All Companies, the 3 execute options available are Add to current OSC, send to new OSC and replace current OSC. Add to current OSC adds the qualifying companies and its data in the current output sheet. Send to new OSC creates a new output sheet of qualifying companies and its data. Replace current OSC replaces the contents in the current output sheet with the qualifying companies and its data. Let us select Send to new OSC. After the query has been successfully executed, the New Outputs button will start blinking. Click on the New Outputs button. You will see that OSC has been generated and is selected by default in the Output Downloader box. You can click on the Continue button to download this output. The output sheet will display companies and its data of last 30 days returns of 10% or more and 30 days returns for the last 6 months in either of the exchanges.